Hello, this is Warpath 1985 speaking. In today's video review, I specifically Transformers Generation Selects Exhaust. Either Decepticon or Mercenary Exhaust, but generally Exhaust. Now, you may be curious where I've been for the past 2 weeks. Remember that little college training trip I was supposed to go to? That's in the capital of California. Yeah, I was over there in Sacramento. It was okay. I liked the capital, however, but whew, man, the heat and the general schedule was very, very tiring near the end, which is why I had to take the last week off, because good lord, I was tired. But also, I wanted to produce this video, including the Slam video. Unfortunately, those had to be delayed because I had to produce other videos involving taking care of my pets, because, again, somebody had to take care of them when I was gone and over there in Sacramento. Which, if you're curious about thoughts in Sacramento, is your normal big city affair. Looks nice for the most part, but when you get to the nitty gritty, it's kind of really bad. But, whatever. Generally, Exhaust as a character and as a Transformers figure is very unique, to say the least. So Exhaust hasn't really appeared in that much media. However, it has appeared in enough to be very notable. This figure is technically supposed to be the Netflix version of Exhaust, but supposedly its own unique thing because it was released beforehand. That season 2 came out. That was about pretty much just Transformers Warped on Earthrise, but once again, Transformers FX season 2, whatever. The weird part is that that figure / character model was based off of the Wheeljack character model, but for some reason did not have the unique Exhaust head sculpt, which was pretty weird. However, it did mean that we finally know what it sounds like, and also what particularly kind of does. But generally, that's it for his anime appearances. For comic books, manga, etc., he has appeared in those as well, either be in the background or in more prominent roles in some cases, I believe. But generally, he's just a background character for the most part. If you're curious, if you appeared in Cyberstronian, no, that was technically Slicer, a European, at least European, or technically a mass-produced worldwide Wheeljack, not sorry, Wheeljack, but Action Masters, yes, Action Masters version of Wheeljack. But that's it. There's nothing else I can really say. However, if you do have a red cog, or I want to call bolt, or in other words, the weird security cog recolors as variant that was shown in the Netflix cartoon. So it's not anime, technically CGI series, but whatever. But also technically also red cog. If you have a normal cog, it's okay as well. You can give him the accessories or weapons he used in the show, either be his blowtorch / tool gun, or the little blaster that he had in the show, which was kind of similar to the universal blaster rifle we saw in Transformers Bumblebee and Transformers 1, where it was just pretty much a copy and paste weapon with different weapon accessories and mounts, etc. In this case, just red cog / cogs blaster. It's okay, to be honest. But that's it. There's nothing else I can really say about this figure. It was a little history during the character of Exhaust. Now, Exhaust, the figure, has received a few toys, like the Masterpiece version, the toy that's used as the base or generally the inspiration for Exhaust, that being the Diaclone figure. And the figure I forget the name of, or what it was. A couple video game persons, I believe. But generally that's it. For the toy, the Generation Deluxe version, it's actually pretty good. But this mold is very controversial due to it being pretty much from Earthrise, because Earthrise had a very inconsistent design philosophy in general engineering, where you have characters with really good engineering, but as one simple like mistake, either be like grappled with or Mitsubishi crane truck mold, where it had the singular problem of those pegs always breaking off on first transformation, or how the Dotson brothers and the Claire's brothers, but generally Dotson mold, Earthrise version, had a problem where although yes, figure's really good, nice circulated and looks perfect, the legs will also just shatter tiny pieces. But this was very inconsistent. Like all my Dotson figures, either be Smokescreen, Blue Streak, and Barricade. I don't have Prowl, but hopefully I get them soon. One day exactly. All of them are okay, but other copies might have that problem. But generally, this is very inconsistent. Also, other examples here and there, like Earthrise Prime might have like a broken chest, but again, that's very inconsistent. Other times, it would be either just minor things like the Seekers, like wings falling off, which that has happened to me before, and I have like have a copy of a figure that has that, which is I believe it was Skywarp, I think. I don't think Starscream has it, but otherwise Skywarp, which I does have that QC issue. But for the Wheeljack mold, it's very inconsistent. For this QC issue, mainly it's just a problem with the pegs, where it's very easy to break out the pegs that are located in the shoulders on these little pegs, or more ports on the back. That is it. It's not as bad compared to the grapple mold, but it has happened to my Wheeljack. Well, second transformation, the peg got stuck and it broke off. So do beware of that, because that will happen. So, for the figure's articulation and general accessories that are included, not just something that is separate, they can get from non-F for other figures, would be the rocket launcher. Now, the rocket launcher is just the Wheeljack rocket launcher. It's not the rocket launcher he technically had in the original G1 figure. More technically Diaclone figure, because he had a lot more longer and more sleeker missile launchers, or shoulder mounted missile launchers, but not really the little stocky one that Wheeljack had in the cartoon. But for other accessories that he was shown in the show, but was shown in the TV show, that's weird wording, would be the Cog Blaster, the tool gun / welding torch, or welding gun, whatever. You can give him those from the Cog figure / red Cog / bolt figure. Well, once again, I like calling him bolt. Did not call him red Cog because it sounds really weird. But for articulation, the figure is really good, but also somewhat limited. So just hinged shoulders, hinged elbows, swivels, which do get stuck because of a little panel in the back. Swivel wrist, a ball joint at the head, waist swivel, a really nice kick, and also forward. Splits are really good. Very nice knee bend, and really good ankle articulation, which is limited for the most part. Comes to front, but not so much in the back. So yeah, the articulation of this is really good, but it is still very much limited for the most part, because again, Earthrise, although yes, improved on articulation, it still had those problems that Siege had for the most part. Also have Earthrise Wheeljack here. I don't have Earthrise Wheeljack. I don't have the Genesis Deluxe G1 version or the Weird Studio Series version. And the Slicer figure, which I do want to get someday, but man, that figure is hard to find. I tried to look at Ross, because a whole bunch of those figures appeared at Ross, but I only ever found forget her name, but she's like the weird evil RC from Treasure Prime. Fireware. But yeah, that's it for the robot mode. Let's go on to the vehicle mode. So here is Exhaust in his royalty free, not copyrighted Lancia Stratos Marlboro version. So for the most part, might have shown us individual images there, but yes, there does exist a Lancia Stratos version of the Marlboro 1976 Stratos, technically. If you don't know, Marlboro does have like a lot of different race cars and etc. Either Formula 1 or in general just these cars here, Grand Prix cars, whatever. But generally, the Lancia Stratos Marlboro like colors and general advertisements, sponsors generally, is for some reason really hard to find to look up, because again, the car does exist, and like most of the cars from G1, in general all the car bots are based off of something. In the case of Exhaust, based off of that car. That is it. And also, yes, this is based off of Marlboro, the cigarette packet, which once again probably showed it off earlier. And also, yes, it's even like shaped as colored as the actual packaging, which appears, I don't know this, because my local grocery store has a bunch of them. I do mean a bunch of them. And here he is with Wheeljack, and as you can see, Wheeljack is a lot more colorful. That's more just because the Lancia Stratos that Wheeljack is based off of is a lot more colorful and a lot more complex when it comes to the color scheme or general layout. But generally, it's a lot better. Remember, it's been in the Exhaust case. Because I don't know, I just find it more funny that Exhaust turns into a giant Marlboro box. I don't know, I just find it a lot more interesting than the color scheme of Wheeljack. Because again, this is literally colored as the Marlboro packaging. Not like how like other brands would be like, it's kind of colored like that sort of thing, or it just has a logo and nothing else, like Target and Walmart NASCARs. But this is just straight just colored as like this Marlboro packaging was hilarious. But yeah, that's it for the vehicle mode in general, the whole review. Now, I like to say that this is kind of very important when it comes to general recommendations here, that this figure is kind of hard to find and kind of range between like $25 to $30, which is a decent chunk of change for a figure that used to cost like $20 like 5 years ago, when this figure was released back in 2023 during the pandemic and etc. But I was able to get this figure for about like, I want to say $25 maybe. Plus either, I think it was like shipping maybe, because I can't remember if I bought this online or not. But generally, Exhaust is a pretty popular character for, once again, turns into a pretty unique car mode. But also is one of the few Dialclone figures, which, although yes, it does look like, from a modern collector's perspective, that there's a lot more Dialclone figures than there are, but generally, that's kind of correct. There's still very little of them that do exist, and let alone ones that are based off of like original Dialclone figures with general Dialclone designs that are supposed to be released but are probably cancelled. But generally, Exhaust is kind of the ones that are most nobly just beloved by the fandom. Even though, yes, he hasn't appeared in that much media and is not that generally popular compared to like the billion versions of like the Skids mold, the Datsuns, and the Formula 1s, etc. But yeah, that's all for this review, and like, comment, subscribe, and hopefully I shall see you next time.